Hello, welcome to a unique video on why it's hard to make long form story content on YouTube. So, I wanted to make this video because, I create stories on YouTube with my characters Michael and Jimmy. You may not know this if this is your first video, so hello anyone new. This is probably not the perfect first video, but it is going to be someone's first video, so welcome to the channel. So yeah, but I want to talk about the difficulties of trying to grow with a long form, story based, channel. Most of my stuff is stories, on Michael and Jimmy. Occasionally some others, but 99% of the time, like it's either Michael or Jimmy. Like it's rare for the characters, that get the spotlight unless it's origin like episode or something unique or something done with Sky Slayer, like, or any of my other friends. But yeah, um, yeah. So I guess this video is also like a warning to others who potentially want to do the idea, because it's not the easiest way to grow a channel if you really want to start a YouTube channel. I mean, I've persisted through it, but it's not for everyone, especially if you don't have the time to invest in it, because I've been doing this for like 3 years at this point. So yeah, it's taken a long, long time to get even this far. You know, like it's taken a lot of time, a lot of effort. 2,000 plus videos to just get this far. So yeah, it's not exactly an easy task, to do, because usually these days people prefer short form content, usually something quick and funny and in your face, that, or surprising, or whatever, something quick and fast, because that grabs people's attention, where something more slow and methodical, like a long form story, or even this video is, a long form thing, it takes, investment, people have to actually be invested, in the thing you've made or what you're talking about to even watch that far into a video. Like, I honestly haven't looked at my YouTube analytics, because there's one that shows the average duration of a person watching, and for many channels, even the most popular, it'd still be technically fairly short, because you gotta grab people's attention quick, otherwise they will move on to something else. It's definitely hard in these days of YouTube, you know, to do something, more long form without any, like, many gags or, things to make things funny and interesting, you know, you know. So yeah, it's hard to, you know, do a channel like this, because people will want to, see the haha funny or interesting stuff, and won't really stick around for a long video, where nothing really technically happens, Sure, things are technically happening, but you know, you know, but it depends on the video. Like, yeah, again, there's different types of story, episodes. Like, there's the more generic stuff, like me playing, a video game just because I wanted to technically play that video game, so I'll do the video game in character, but and usually it'll be Michael, because Jimmy's mainly in the Halo sphere, but yeah, you know, um, you know, um, Michael, is the one that I use for different kind of games and different stuff. You know, um, like going across the multiverse or whatever. But yeah, but yeah, that. But then so there's those sort of episodes where it's just the game and not really story relevant stuff, or there's the actual story episodes where I do something important for either war, something else, you know, you know, that there's definitely different things, for different videos, because some are short, like some are like short funny things, but some are more longer, things, and yeah, but yeah, but yeah, um, like, yeah, and it depends on, the video. Like, some will be funny, but some will be, just whatever needs to be done, like Jimmy and the simulations, So yeah. So yeah, it can be very hard, especially if you're not the, most, uh, you know, uh, like have the most like editing skills. Like, I know how to edit, like, but I've seen the timelines of like their timelines of um, some videos, and it's quite um, you know, like they can be like quite big, like you know, like they'll have a lot of stuff in the edited timelines. Like if you've ever seen, a thing where they show the editing software, you see like a really big, timeline that like has a lot of like small elements to it where like mine you know doesn't really have that because it doesn't really need that. Like my videos, I just mainly need the story, and I technically don't want to cut out anything because I want to show the full experience of whatever Mike or Jimmy experienced during the place that so that means lack of um you know you know like I guess pacing technically. I mean, it is technically has pacing, just its pacing is a lot more slow, and sure there'll be fights and stuff and whatever, but you know, technically it's not changing the characters much. It's just the same characters, going through sort of the same things. Like they're technically not developing, like you know they're technically not developing as characters much unless it's in a story episode. So yeah, the generic episodes you know mean there's not much growth of the character, and even if they technically grow, they always still sort of always end up in the same place again, time and time again, Which I mean is kind of the point, They're both technically, going to live for an infinite life, You know, it's kind of the point, But still, it means that, they technically, despite changing over time, still relatively stay the same as their same archetypes. Like Michael's always going to be, the leader, you know, he's always going to be, the one taking charge, but Jimmy's a bit more of a, supporting person, despite, him being, my other main character, is still, technically not as important as Michael, even though the balance has shifted over time and I have made it more equal for Jimmy. Technically, there's more Jimmy than Michael at this point. But still, Michael is technically the most important, who gets usually most of the storylines because, he's involved with basically all of them, where Jimmy is only involved in a select few, and only does really get involved when, needed. Like, he'll get involved into new things if it's needed, but otherwise, he's basically relegated to second place, despite, yeah, again, as I mentioned this multiple times, I created Jimmy before Michael, so yeah, despite technically being in reality the older of the two brothers, despite in the canon, Michael's the older brother, um, you know, you know, despite technically being the older brother of the two, he still ends up as the younger brother, and yeah, yeah, but yeah. Storytelling is hard, and I definitely recommend if you want to do storytelling, learn editing, and maybe occasionally, do, fast paced, episodes where a lot happens, lots of funny or interesting things happen quickly in quick succession instead of something slower form. So, yeah, definitely learn how that. Um, Definitely try and learn from other storytellers. Be inspired, but don't copy. You know, I mean, there's many things that are similar, but different. From each other. Basically at this point, everything's been created in like some way technically. You know, there's technically no new ideas. You know, but you can, reorient things to make it feel new and feel refreshing and feel, dynamic and unique. But yeah, all I'm saying is, yeah, if you are going to do it, learn how to edit, and you can have those long form ones because once people are invested, they probably would actually enjoy it. But to start off with, maybe lean towards having shorter, faster paced ones. That's just my advice. Obviously, I'm never gonna probably change my ways because I want to do it this way because I feel like it's most fitting for the story, and it allows you to fully experience whatever they go through, even if they kind of, Jimmy and Michael can kind of tend to say the same things over and over again and kind of have become, disinteresting, in a way, which is why I'm trying, to experiment more with these sort of videos so that I do something unique, that I'm not just doing one thing forever, like, that's why I keep doing these sort of experimental videos just to see how they go, and yeah, there's definitely more to come, with the experimental stuff because I want to experiment more, you know, with the you know different ways I could do the formula, of how I do things, So yeah, but sometimes things don't work out, and sometimes things do. Like I still have plans for music videos because those usually do well. Um, um, yeah, like the music parody ones usually do decently well. So yeah, I definitely want to do more of those in time. Just, I also want to experiment with some other stuff like this. Just as, things to do. And if it does well, maybe I'll consider doing more. I've definitely been, having a lot of ideas. Some that I haven't revealed yet, so I might as well reveal this since, um, you know, this is, being recorded on a stream. Um, um, One of my ideas to potentially start up at some point, but I've kind of been procrastinating, on researching into it, which is to, I was actually kind of interested in potentially making my own music because, you know, some people, do that to, add to, their videos, make their own music to, avoid copyright and, all that. So, you know, um, yeah, that's definitely something I would potentially want to head into because, if I started to, do my own music, um, you know, that'd be, something, that add to, these videos, then the background, these our podcasts wouldn't have to be like absolute silence most of the time, because I've only added music to like I think the Unus Honest one, and I think that's about it. Honestly, maybe I've forgotten another one, but I think that's like the only time I've added music to any of these. And Trench Coat, I believe, is a copyrighted song, so yeah. I mean, same for a lot of the music that I've used for my parody videos, a lot of it is, technically copyrighted, so yeah. Despite, I'm, you know, doing unique visuals or, unique subtitles and whatever, it's still, technically the original music, so yeah. So yeah, like most of the time I won't sing it, like because, I don't feel, as confident singing, like, you know, if I could, I would, get someone else to, sing for me. But, I'm poor. Still, at the time of recording, still yet to get a job and still, you know, yet to, um, you know, find, you know, some way of earning money, maybe at by this the time this video comes out, maybe just maybe, the chances are low, but anything can happen, maybe I'd be at 500 subscribers and hurt not hurt hurt the milestone. Hit the milestone is what I was going to say. Um, Not hurt it. Sorry, milestone. YouTube milestone. You have been hurt. Um, but yeah, maybe I would have hit 500 and maybe potentially, earning some money from that. Or, potentially hit, Twitch affiliate after, 3 years. God, it takes so long to get 3 consecutive viewers. Like, seriously. Like, yeah, again, you need to dedicate the time. And one of the things is, like, sometimes I do spend a long time streaming because, I'm doing story stuff. So, despite my streams sometimes are the perfect thing technically for the Twitch algorithm, it's still hard to get, people invested in, long form stories because that's ultimately what I'm doing on Twitch, doing long, form stories. So yeah, it's kind of annoying, technically, you know, you know, not really getting anywhere because you don't fit, the norm of, what YouTube or Twitch probably wants, So it can be hard, but, I'm dedicated, you know. I'm probably, not gonna stop until, I have to stop, Like, eventually I'm gonna have to, potentially, sacrifice other streams, just for, the sake of, you know, um, you know, either a job or whatever it may be, you know, it kind of sucks, you know, that I've, had to like slowly dial back, like despite, having a lot of creative stuff that, I want to do, you know, you know, you know, eventually, I have to dial back and be like, okay, time to dial it back again, you know, occasionally, I dial it forward a bit, but, slowly over time, it's back and back and back, not forwards and forwards and forwards, you know. It was like that for, a while, especially at the beginning because I went from, doing, one video a week to multiple, videos in a week to, having, videos daily to eventually twice daily and now, even up to triple daily, which is insane, mainly thanks, somehow, building that insane, schedule of mine that I've built over time. But eventually I'm going to have to dial it back, you know, dial it backwards and, choose more wisely what I am, going to stream because eventually I'll only have, a certain amount of time to stream and my schedule will probably have to, completely change. It won't be, 3 videos, you know, or more a day, it'd be back down to just one, you know, you know. So yeah, there'll be certain sacrifices that will be made for the future, and yeah, there's nothing I can really do, about that it's going to happen inevitably sooner or later. Like, my peak was at 650 scheduled videos. That was a lot. 650 scheduled videos is a lot. I'm surprised I haven't gained like a world record or something. You know, like, I feel like I should have, but it is what it is. You know, but yeah, it's gone down to, at the moment, at time of recording, it's only like over 500 like scheduled videos. So yeah, and it'll probably decrease even more now that I'm like dialing back. But yeah, this is just a video on it's hard to do story content on YouTube, even on Twitch, but maybe one day, you it'll become easier, but I doubt that, you know, but yeah, my advice, learn how to edit, and also learn how to do thumbnails. That's something I don't really do, and if I do it, it's in like Paint. So yeah, I'm not really one to do thumbnails, mainly because it would take a lot of time. Because if I started doing it, then I would have to do it, for 400 plus scheduled videos, which I really wouldn't want to do. And most I would add to it anyways, add some text like, Jimmy the Spaceman, season whatever, episode whatever, the attack of the killer bees. you know, you know, like, 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 you know, that there's not a lot that I probably, add to it because, doing, the generic, like, oh my god, shocked, thumbnail, it isn't really fitting to what's going on in the video because, it's about the story, so the most immersive thing, and the most fitting thing for the thumbnails is, a shot from the video, hopefully, an important shot from the video. But nonetheless, it's just, a still frame from the video. That way, you will see that frame at some point, during the video. It isn't clickbait where it shows something that, never happens in the video, every frame is at least somewhere in the video, or, there are there's exceptions for the to be human videos because those thumbnails are completely just for the thumbnails and aren't used in the video at any point. But otherwise, 99.9% of the time, the thumbnail, is a shot of something that happened, like during me, doing the characters and playing it, it's actually accurate. But so I don't feel like it's necessary. And if I did want to start doing it, then I feel like with the person I am, I feel like I would want to, go back and do it, on older videos. Um, but that would take a huge amount of time and effort. So, 2,000 plus videos that are public. It would be hell. It would be literal hell. At least the one silver lining is still at the time of recording, um, shorts, you can't choose or update the thumbnail, So yeah, at least I wouldn't technically have to do shorts. So yeah. But yeah, it'd still be a lot of videos, and a lot of live streams as well. Like, yeah. So, yeah. But I guess if I were to start doing thumbnails, I probably wouldn't go backwards. I would just, keep doing it from that point forwards. But yeah, again, I feel like text, isn't necessary. You can see the text of what it's called, right below the thumbnail, you know, it shows, the thumbnail and the title of the video, it just feels, redundant to add, text to, something you can already, read and see, like, yeah, like, it just feels redundant, like, not worth the time and effort put in, like, I know when I want unique thumbnails, it's usually for, the To Be Human videos are like, unique videos where actually calls for it, ones where, I feel like it'd be, good to have. But, yeah. Either way, yeah, learn to do thumbnails, learn to do editing, yeah. That's basically all my advice, so yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it's hard to do long form story content on YouTube, and I guess Twitch as well. But I did YouTube, in the title because, this will be on YouTube, longer than it'll be on Twitch because Twitch has its rule where it's like, only 7 days can your thing be up because you're not an affiliate. I'm like, God damn it. Why? So yeah, it kind of sucks. So yeah, hopefully eventually I'll be an affiliate, but it's really hard to get to that level. Like I spent so long, trying to do it, it gets annoying. But yeah, either way, yeah, I think I'm gonna end this video. So yeah, thank you all for watching this video. Hopefully this helps if you ever want to do story-based content on YouTube or otherwise. Yeah, because it's hard to do long form story, content, on YouTube, So yeah, like, that's why I do the experimental stuff and all that. But But yeah, I'll keep trying and keep assisting as long as I can. So yeah, thank you if you have been, supporting me, because it does mean a lot. But anyway, this will be the end, otherwise I'll talk forever. So yeah, thank you all for watching and peace.